below. And this burn's actually going to take place before the crew wakes up. So it might wake them up because they can hear those thruster firings while they're inside the Dragon capsule, but their wake up isn't for about another 25 minutes. They're supposed to wake up at about 1:45 a.m. Pacific time. And we're definitely going to be keeping ears up because we're going to be listening for some wake up music, bringing back that old space shuttle tradition of waking up the crews with some music. So the team at SpaceX picked out a song based off of Bob and Doug's personal music taste that they talked to them about before they launch. And so we're going to be looking for that moment. It's going to be really cool. But again, that transfer burn, the next major milestone coming up, that's going to be the fourth out of 5 major burns to get us up near the International Space Station. There'll be one more after that, which I'll let Shiva walk us through a little bit, that final co-elliptic burn.
Yeah, so right after the transfer burn is complete, let's see, about, I guess that would be about 30 minutes or so, 45 minutes or so
about
after,
45.
We'll do what's called the final co-elliptic burn. And so co-elliptic is basically saying, hey, both Dragon and the International Space Station, we want them to be on roughly the same orbital ellipse. So the final co-elliptic burn really fine-tunes that so that Dragon and Space Station are in sync. That'll put us really close to the International Space Station, right below 2.5 kilometers below, making sure that everything is perfectly positioned. And then, assuming that the teams are go and the space station is go, we'll do an approach initiation burn, and that'll get us towards docking autonomously with the International Space Station.
Yeah, right before that approach initiation, you can kind of think of it, it's almost like the station and Dragon are flying in formation. So they're just going to maintain that distance. 2.5 kilometers is where things really start to pick of Dragon as it makes that final approach. We'll go through 2 of our imaginary checkpoints, the approach ellipsoid and the keep outs.
Chance to see Bob and Doug piloting the spacecraft using Dragon's flight displays. They basically have a touchscreen display that they can fire the thrusters on and control both translation and attitude of the spacecraft.
Yeah, and that first one we were controlling the attitude, and this one we're going to be switching over the translation maneuvers, right?
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to do a quick translation test, and then that really is a capability in case something were to go wrong, in case Bob and Doug had to step in. Dragon is a fully autonomous spacecraft and could dock to the space station pretty much completely on its own. It's really just, this is a demonstration mission 2, and so we're really showing all of the capabilities that the Dragon spacecraft has in case we ever had to use them during future flights.
And Kate and I talked about it a lot right before we did that first manual flight test. If you want to test out actually docking to the space station while we wait for the crew to wake up, you can head over to iss-sim.spacex.com and you can practice docking the Dragon to the space station. And it's a display.
From the International Space Station down to Dragon is good. With that, we'll send it back to you in Hawthorne.
It's really great to hear that the spacecraft and communications between the International Space Station and the spacecraft are looking good. Earlier on in the mission, we
away from crew wake up. Again, we're going to be listening out to NASA side. It's awesome to bring that one over. We've seen a couple of new traditions like Bob and Doug launching rockets from the beach. We've seen some old traditions like the walkout from the ONC building. And pretty soon we're going to be another old/new tradition, some wake-up music on board Dragon.
Well, new spacecraft, new opportunities to do new things, new firsts. We're really excited to hear what Bob and Doug picked for their wake-up music.
And while we wait for that, we are still just hearing the teams down here in Hawthorne and over in Houston still going through some checkouts there as Gary's walking through using the, this might be it. Going to be focusing on that fifth and final burn of that final co-elliptic burn.
That's right. The crew waking up, putting away their sleeping bags and putting away their sleeping gear. Probably gonna brush their teeth, get some food, do whatever you do when you wake up. The next burn is going to be the final co-elliptic burn.
Walk you through all of those checks as Dragon gets a little bit closer.
From the C2V2 checkouts, the communication one way from the International Space Station down to Dragon is good. With that, we'll send it back to you in Hawthorne.
It's really great to hear that the spacecraft and communications between the International Space Station and the spacecraft are looking good. Earlier on in the mission, we had a number of burns. So the final co-elliptic burn is the last segment where you're really deep into integrated operations, and those 12 thrusters help do attitude control. Do it today, they probably do a lot better than me.
A little more patience built in for them. We are about 16 and a half minutes from that final co-elliptic burn. Just to continue to walk you through everything you're going to see, we're going to be docking to the very forward port on the International Space Station. Yeah, it looks like when we combine everything, we're still a little over 50 kilometers away from the space station. So we're going to be picking up pretty quickly and getting closer after this final co-elliptic burn. But we are going to be docking to that Node 2 forward port. There are currently 2 docking ports on the International Space Station that can accommodate these new commercial crew vehicles. They're both on Node 2. One is on the very forward port. Up to the International Space Station goes smoothly. And so this is coming up in just about
and that they're able to control the spacecraft from and issue commands to
down the barrel, and we'll be able to see Dragon during. They'll do that maneuver just about 7 minutes or so before that final co-elliptic burn, so we should be seeing that coming up soon. And then we are just 9 minutes away from that fifth and final major burn before we can get into approach initiation and start getting Dragon in close to the space station.
Yeah, and Dan, as you had mentioned, when we're slewing for a burn, we're trying to get those thrusters aligned to the right direction to impart that momentum.
Fly itself, but also features that full manual override capability just in case of emergency.
Many of our Super Draco launch escape systems
we'll have them available even if
there. What is she wearing?
She is
getting ready to arm the launch escape system, and so that is something that
they are, but just good people.
Right.
And around the office, we often refer to them as the dads.
Yeah.
The
And
dads? What
they're
is
the
that?
dads. They're dads. They are dads,
Okay.
and we've met their families. And
Flash that into gas, and running gas through a high-speed pump is...
We're go for launch. Let's light this candle.
Right screen, you can see that first stage with the grid fins deployed. It's making its way back to attempt to land on our drone ship. Of course, I Still Love You today.
We'll move back about 2 degrees. That'll get us to the liftoff position. At liftoff, the strong back will then recline about 45 degrees away.
2 RP1 bleed.
Launch direct a couple of degrees.
SpaceX Dragon, we're go for launch. Let's light this candle.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for flight.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA, go SpaceX, Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
America has launched.
One Alpha.
And so rises a new era of American spaceflight,
Stage 1
and with it
propulsion is
the
nominal.
ambitions of a new generation continuing the dream. 20 seconds into flight, stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T plus 30 seconds into this historic mission. Flying crew on board Dragon and Falcon 9, and look at them go.
Falcon power telemetry nominal. M1D throttle down.
We're throttling down to get ready for the period of maximum dynamic pressure. We're in the throttle bucket. Reports say all systems are go.
Vehicle is supersonic.
We've exceeded Mach 1 on the Falcon 9.
M1D throttle up.
We're throttling back up to full power as we're through max Q.
Copy, 1 Bravo.
And we heard that 1 Bravo call out. That's just the second abort zone that they're in. They'll continue to be on this until the first stage has done its job and they switch over to the second. At this point, Bob and Doug pulling about 2.3 Gs, 2.3 times the Earth's gravity, already moving at over 1,500 miles per hour.
We've heard the call out for MVAC engine chill. That's getting the MVAC engine ready to light. That'll come at about 2:44 into flight. Right now, everything continuing to look good. Next major event coming up is going to be the triple. We'll have main engine cutoff of the 9 first stage engines, stage separation, and then ignition of the second stage engine to continue to carry astronauts into orbit. Coming up in about 20 seconds.
M1D throttle down.